talk about how does a theology of sin relate to trauma?
Okay, so this is, I might not get my ice cube on this one. I might have
One
to
minute. 1 minute.
Is the clock ticking?
1 minute, go. We got the studio audience questions we got to get
I want to
through.
read it. I'm going to start now. That was my mulligan. So a theology of sin is crucial to this because if there is a word missing from the trauma-informed literature, it is the word sin, which means they've disqualified themselves. They can't speak to trauma because they don't know what it's doing there. When something bad happens to you, they don't know where that came from. We understand where that came from as Christians because we know we live in a sinful world. In fact, you might even say that one of the projects of trauma-informed therapy is to relocate sin away from you to anywhere. Sin can show up in a couple of different ways in trauma. It can show up in the person who traumatized you, and it can show up in your sinful response to trauma. It's not every response to trauma is created equal. If you respond vindictively, if you respond in any way that's not defined by trust in the Lord, then that would be a sinful, culpable response. So we can't identify where the sin is in the trauma. We can't explain what the trauma is doing there in the first place, and we have no solution for it. In Psalm 32, verse 1, blessed is the one whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Sometimes people get nervous about talking about sin because it sounds so blameworthy and culpable and all this. But as Christians, when we talk about sin, we talk about sin from the standpoint of Jesus, from the standpoint of having our sin be covered. And so we can talk about sin and blameworthiness with hope and joy because of the salvation that Jesus brings.